Will Howard just led Ohio State to the college football championship. When JJ McCarthy did the same thing last year, he was taken in the first round despite being a relatively limited passer. So why is no one talking about Will Howard going in the first round? And why does no one even think he can be a starter in the NFL? Well, there are definitely a lot of limitations to his game, but certainly some upside as well when it comes to his arm and his prototypical size. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing, but let's take a little bit of a deep dive into one of the strangest quarterback prospects in the draft. There is certainly a lot to like when you watch Will Howard. The first thing that you notice is his arm strength. He has above average strength for a quarterback, especially in this draft class. He is able to work all three levels of the field, and that helps with him working in tight windows, but also with the ability to lead a receiver away from a defender, especially when working deep down the field, as you'll have seen in a couple of clips at the beginning of the video. The other thing is he has prototypical size at the quarterback position, and this shows in his toughness. He is incredibly strong and able to shrug off defenders who don't set themselves properly for a tackle, and then able to reset his base and make the completion, which is the kind of trait that NFL teams love to see in rookie quarterbacks. I also think when things are working in structure, he's able to show good mechanics and solid footwork. Now, you'll notice I've not said elite or great here because I think it is just good, but it's the kind of thing that can be translatable to the NFL. We're definitely going to come back to what happens if things aren't in structure and if he has to be the one to then make a play. I also think he has shown experience using play action and working under center, which is something that a lot of rookie quarterbacks don't actually have the chance to do in college. And it's obviously a key feature of the NFL, so it's something they're going to have to learn to do. And you often see rookie quarterbacks struggling just taking a snap under center, so that experience is going to be really helpful for him. He definitely can succeed on scramble drills as well, and in the short yardage game, that toughness really shows, so quarterback sneaks or even working around the goal line. There's definitely some features of Will Howard's game which are going to be really strong when he gets to the league, but no one is talking about this as a starting quarterback. So let's have a little bit of a dig into why. I obviously hinted at this already because Will Howard can play really well when he is playing in structure, but the moment that structure breaks down, he just doesn't really know what to do. So that's whether things have failed, whether he's not read the defense correctly, where there's pressure in his face, if an O-line has whiffed a block, he tends to just panic. I think this is the kind of quarterback who is essentially an echo of the play caller, someone who is able to just take direction from the play caller and execute the play as given to them, but not someone who knows what to do when suddenly things start to break down. And this also shows in the fact that I don't think he really knows how to read a defense. He is quite comfortable reading half the field and then working to the half that he's seen. You don't often see him scanning across the entire field, going through his progressions to then try and figure out where the open hole is. And this is something which is crucial to playing in the NFL. I don't think he really has a tendency to get off his first read either. I think this is someone who stares down the first read and then targets them. Doesn't really know what to do if that person isn't open. Now, obviously, in college, he was throwing to Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, who are both first-round talents, with Jeremiah Smith being one of the best wide receiver prospects that we have seen in a while. So they were always open. If that was his first read, he could throw to them. What's going to happen when he gets to the NFL and that isn't the case? His ball placement can really be sporadic at times. There are definitely times that he'll throw it to an area where a receiver isn't able to create extra yardage from it, or to create a contested catch situation where there really wasn't one beforehand. If you are going to be limited, you need to at least be accurate, and he can be, but sometimes he's not as well. Ultimately, I think Will Howard is a good quarterback when everything is perfect. But if he's playing somewhere where it's not, which, let's be real, in the NFL, things are never perfect. You have to be able to work out of structure, no matter how good your receivers are, no matter how good your offensive line is. Sometimes things will just break down, or you'll be playing too good of a defense or specific defensive player. And when things aren't perfect, he does not know what to do, and he cannot cope with it. For my playstyle comparison, I've gone with Jared Goff at the Rams in those first couple of Sean McVay years. I actually think Will Howard has the tools to develop into a starter in the NFL, which I think might go slightly against consensus. But I think if he's in a situation with a play caller like Sean McVay, who can be constantly in his ear, he will be able to run that offense. The problem is going to be what happens when things break down. This was kind of the same for Goff in LA, and it's ultimately why the Rams decided to move on from him. Now, Jared Goff has progressed since he got to Detroit, but that is the similarity that I see. This is going to be someone that probably can run an offense, whether as a backup or as the starter, but is really going to struggle when they need to truly elevate that offense. So I think he's probably going to be about QB 40 in the league, someone that can be a long time backup, but you probably don't want as your starter. In terms of draft value, he's currently projected to go towards the back of day 2. I think this is probably about right for him. I think he probably finds a home in the 3rd round, and I think he probably settles in as a backup. Someone that probably can see the field, but isn't going to do a huge amount to elevate an offense. In terms of his draft value, in one quarterback leagues, I am not going to draft him. It doesn't matter if the rookie draft is 5 rounds, there's just not the upside there in a single quarterback league for a player like this. In Superflex, I would consider him in about the 4th round. This is likely going to be a career backup. Obviously, there is some upside because I do think he can run an offense, but I'm not going to take him any earlier than that with the depth in this class, particularly at the running back position. I would love to hear from you down below if you love Will Howard and you think he's going to start when he gets to the league. I'm sure there are some Ohio State fans out there who think that's going to happen, and I want to chat with you. And while you're there dropping a comment, please consider dropping a subscribe as well, and check out all of the other rookie profiles available on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.